Hey guys, welcome to Knuckle Deep. This is going to be a pilot episode, maybe. And so essentially, what this podcast is it is me, Braden, and my best friend, August. And we are going to be talking and hopefully inciting some laughter.
I thought you were gonna say, and hopefully we'll be inciting some violence.
Well,
And that might happen.
hopping,
Who
hopping,
knows?
hopping on the trend of 2021. If I want to be a hashtag cool guy, then the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to get a mob and I'm going to get a cool looking building, maybe historic. And I'm going to be like, hey
Maybe,
guys.
maybe it almost similarly rhymes with tadpole, and is one of the largest government buildings and oldest in America. America. Maybe
America
we'll
is
just
a miracle.
maybe we're gonna be like, you're special and we love you, but please go home.
Yeah. So essentially, this is going to be like a pilot. It's obviously our first time. If you haven't figured
Picked
that
up
out
on that yet. Yeah.
But I don't know, like things we'll do. I like football a lot. August thought Lamar Jackson was a wide receiver. So
He's fast, man. All I know about him is that he's fast.
So we'll see where that leads to. I'd love, hopefully we'll have some cool like football talk and some, we're going to set up some, what are they called? What are they called?
Segments?
Segments.
There we go. There's the word.
Like some segments. Maybe we're opening up a Twitter. You guys send us stuff. Reddit is also a deeply interesting website is the only way I can describe it. You can really find some gems on there.
Here, such as this. We have a tweet from Elijah Schaefer, who I don't know who that is, but he's verified on Twitter, so he's got to be important. He says, already seeing conspiracy theorists float the idea that Biden, our president right now, is transgender. This is going to be a weird 4 years. I'm ready. Are you? And here we have it looks like a response by Donald Trump, but the name is blacked out, so it could not be. It said, how is that a conspiracy theory? Man, I swear, everything that is known fact is now a conspiracy. So is Biden transgender?
Okay.
That might be a segment.
If Joanna Biden is our next president, I'm fine with that.
Sorry, I wasn't ready for Joanna Biden.
So also we'll be talking about just our daily lives. I mean, we're college students. We're going to school in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know if you guys heard, but there's this little cold going around. Nothing serious. It's COVID-19.
It's not real.
It's killed 420,000 Americans.
Nice.
That's pretty serious. And it's infected upwards of 26 million or something in just our country. So that's a big deal. And it makes college a little bit different. And we have some stories. And also, we're pretty
large. I knew where you were going.
We're some big guys. So
I'm out of breath walking up to my room and to my classes.
When I tie my shoes, it is a workout.
I bend down to tie my shoes, and tsunamis happen in Japan. Is actually what happens. Well, for our first segment here on our podcast, Knuckle Deep, I'm looking here at some Reddit posts on r/facepalm. Where only the most what's the word? Linguistic and high functioning people
obviously
post. Here we have let me find it real quick. We have heavy duty patriotic wallets. And it's just a wallet with the Confederate flag on it. We all know how patriotic that flag is, right? When they were like, we hate it in this country, so we're gonna make our own. That's really patriotic, of course.
Something that really shocked me this past year is that there are more people that wear Confederate flag belt buckles than I thought there are in this country. Every time I'm like, all right, your pants are on, they're secured.
And wham! Racism right on the front.
You're like, look at those boot cut, torn up work jeans.
Are those Wranglers or Dickies?
Carhartt.
Stupid honkies, am I right? We also have a post here from Hearts Player 721. The post says, "This is my fact checker." And it's a picture of the Bible. You know, the Bible where the woman got pregnant without sex, you know. It's fact. Everyone and their mom knows that everything in the Bible is completely true and is God-given correct. There's nothing wrong that happens in the Bible.
So I'm going to tell a story now. And before I tell you the story, I have to put you in a mindset. Okay. It's March. All right. School's recently shut down. And I'm at home 24/7. I'm not working at the moment because that's a long story. We can get into the work stories, but that'll be another time.
One detail quickly to just interject that will be probably a big part of our podcast is the fact that Braden and I both work at the same grocery store.
We worked in a deli for almost a year together.
About a year, and there are a lot of stories, and sadly we will have to make up names that are not the actual names.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get to those in later episodes, maybe later this episode. Anyway, keep going, Braden.
So I wake up and I hear this like pecking noise. I live in my basement, so I have like a fire escape window, and I hear this pecking noise at my window. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And of course, like it's the middle of a pandemic. School hasn't started yet again. Like, so we're in this 2-week period of doing absolutely nothing. Most glorious time ever. And I get up at like 11 and I open the curtain, and there is approximately a 4-foot long garden snake. Or maybe, I don't know what kind of snake it is. I'm not a snakester.
Snakester.
But there's this snake looking like we are making eye contact, and it is like it's like snapping and biting and hissing at me through the window because it sees me, and it's like it's trying to bite me, but it just keeps smashing its stupid dumb face up against the window. I don't do well with snakes. This is not the first time that there has been a snake, an animal in this fire escape. So automatically what I do is I go upstairs and I go to my dad. And I'm like,
as every self-respecting 18-year-old does, they're like, "Dad, fix this problem."
I'm like, "Hey, Dad, you look like you want to do something. There is a snake in the fire escape window." And he goes, "Get it out." And when you go to your parents for a problem, like, "Hey, my car isn't starting. Hey, I have a flat tire. Hey, I'm failing a class." Those are the situations when it is okay for your parents to say, "Fix it. Do it yourself. You're 18. But I am snake sensitive.
Not a snakester, as previously.
I'm not a snakester. And so he's like, "All right, I'll deal with it." So I'm like, okay, he's going to get it out. Maybe he's got like 12-foot long tweezers or something. I don't know. And so I'm watching him. Like, I go back downstairs. I'm playing video games because I'm addicted to my Xbox. And I hear like we have a cage top over the fire escape. So I hear that lift. And so I open the windows and I see my dad there. And he's got a bucket and a shovel. I'm like, all right. Don't know what he's going to do with that. So I'm watching him. I'm sitting down at my desk chair, looking out of the window, pretty disgusted, and I want to gag and vomit the whole time. And he's attempting to nestle the snake into the pointed shovel and try to get it out, but it is like biting the shovel. And he's just, he's trying to make sure that this snake is out and can do some snake things when he's done. But he was not cooperating. So what happened is my dad decided that he is now working for pest control. And I don't know if you know what pest control does.
They don't let them live afterwards.
They don't take the rats in your house and they don't put them in a prairie somewhere. They they put the rats in a bag and they give them to the trash man. There was some shovel chopping. The snake became 2 or 3 snakes. It was still moving. And this whole time I'm watching this and I hate snakes. And now I'm seeing a snake that is in 2 pieces, moving around independently. Its head is living, its tail is wiggling, and I am in disbelief. I want to pass out, but if you want to deal with a snake and you want it to live, moral of the story, don't go ask your dad.
Just call the snakesters and they'll
All
come
the
and
snakesters,
they'll come and get it, man.
they got that magic touch. They can just nestle that thing in.
It's like a Hydra head. And then they're both living.
Also, I do have another snake story. My grandma has a pretty big lawn. We live right next to her. And I used to mow her lawn all the time. And I started like in 6th or 7th grade, like with the ride mower. I always did the pushing around my house and stuff. I think my dad would say otherwise. But I'm mowing, and this was like my 4th time mowing the lawn ever on a riding mower. And we have like this pond, and there's like a dip, and then sometimes it fills with water, sometimes it doesn't, whatever. So I'm mowing along, and the driveway is on my right. And I hear a cha-ching, cha-ching, pong, chicka-ching, pong, chicka-chip, chop, chop. And then I hear something eject out of the right side of the mower. And I was like, it was probably a rock. And so I go around for a whole nother lap. And then I come back and I see a snake. And it was
forming multiple right angles.
It was very, very geometric. By the time I was done with it, it looked like ground beef.
Oh God!
Mixed with parsley. It was bad. It was so unbelievably
5-star dish.
horrifying.
Yeah, where I live, funnily enough, in a very similar looking location as Braden, but I live in a more of a neighborhood, and we don't get very many garter snakes, or like small ones. We get 5-6 foot long black snakes, which aren't venomous. They're just they bite, they kill like rats and stuff and mice. And we get them all the time, but the scariest part about them is that they're not always ground dwelling. Sometimes they're in trees, and sometimes they can fall on you. I thought you were about to say
sometimes the snakes grow feet and wings,
and actually just become little dragons.
Yeah.
But no, I thankfully don't have any stories about ones falling on top of me or any of my family members, but we have seen them slither up trees, just defying all snake laws of physics.
Okay, if you're a snakester, please explain to me. Explain. Why?
Why?
What makes you... Okay, the people that have snakes as pets...
Psychopaths.
You realize you could have a dog?
Right, or something that actually shows emotion. I can make an exception, on the great old app TikTok. There's a lot of super cute, not snake-looking snakes. The best kind of snakes are the snakes that don't look like snakes. All right? They look like cute little noodles that you can put little hats on, and they don't bite you.
And then they grow up to be rat-killing machines that want to dwell in your fire escapes.
Want to get chopped into little bits, like the little punks they are.
Yeah, little punks.
I hate snakes.
It's that and big spiders.
I have a story about a big spider. Okay. You might not be able to tell, but I used to be a Boy Scout a long time ago.
I can tell. Yeah, I can tell by your forehead.
What? And there's this camp in Waterloo. I can't remember what it was called. The title doesn't. No, it wasn't Wartburg. It was a Boy Scout specific camp.
Oh,
I think it was Van Deventer, maybe.
Sausage.
Camp Sausage. Everyone knows Camp Sausage, Boy Scout camp. Anyway, so This camp, the whole experience was super strange. There was a guy, a counselor there, who really hated Japanese honeysuckle, which in Illinois, if you walk through the woods, all the bushes that aren't trees that are like 8 feet tall and you can't get through them because they're so thick, that's Japanese honeysuckle.
It smells good.
They're it's honestly not that annoying of a plant, but it's technically an invasive species,
Right.
and it's taking over
Species.
Sorry,
No, it's both. Species.
The Pacific Ocean. Anyway, so this guy is a Boy Scout camp counselor. He looks like your textbook nerd, popcorn fire orange hair, skinny like the snake that got chopped up in Braden's fire escape. And one of the things they teach you as a Boy Scout is to love nature. You're supposed to respect nature, but don't leave a footprint when you go out in the woods.
Right.
This guy is telling us to chop these honeysuckle to bits. Like, we're in the woods. This is a Japanese honeysuckle. They're an invasive species. I want you all to take a whack at it.
Does this guy have glasses that have never been cleaned on? Like
100%.
Yeah,
and they're the little rectangles.
Yes, the wire ones.
But then they have the super like thick arms that come to a point.
And anyway, you can't even see his eyes because there's so much snot, eye booger, and like dust on the inside and outside of his glasses.
Yeah, it looks like his glasses are actually goggles because there's seal around from all his eye mess. Anyway, we haven't gotten to the spider yet. We do Boy Scout camp and do Boy Scout camp things. One night we sleep under the stars and we wake up and everyone is wet because it's in the middle of like a meadow and everything's covered in dew. So
Mountain Dew?
A Mountain Dew. In the middle of the night, that little nerd kid actually just shook up a 2-liter and sprayed it all over everyone and no one knew. It was one of the last days and we're on a hike. Well, it's not really a hike. It's Illinois. It's basically just walking through the woods because everything in Illinois is flat. And on this tree was the biggest spider I have ever seen in my entire life in the wild. Of course, I've been to the zoo where they have like tarantulas.
Nope.
This thing was so big. Obviously, this is an audio podcast, so I can't show anything to scale. But if you can imagine a softball or maybe a little bigger than a softball, like 6 inches across, huge spider on this tree. Everyone was like, what is this? Are we in South America? Why is this spider so big and in the middle of nowhere? For real, why is this spider so large in here? And that was probably my most prevalent story in my brain about a spider. We also have enormous wolf spiders at my house that are almost annoying to kill because they just explode. They don't just smush like a regular spider. It's so bad.
That's so gross.
Spiders. I don't hate spiders. Spiders aren't that bad. I'm not the kind of guy that just kills every spider I see.
I am.
The only spiders I really kill like willingly is brown recluse because they have such a crazy bite. The other day, it was last weekend because we just had a 3-day weekend, so I went home instead of staying in my dorm. I was done for the night. It was maybe midnight or 1 a.m, and I go and lay down on my bed on my stomach, and I'm looking at my phone, and I see something, and I turn my phone around, and it's a itty bitty, super tiny baby brown recluse, and I'm like, why is that on my bed? And so obviously I just smashed it.
This is at home or in your dorm?
At home on my bed.
Oh my god.
I have had a spider run across my face in my bed while looking at my phone. I was, laying there, had my phone, and I just right across my face. I didn't even see it. Yeah, it was terrible. And it's okay. We have to change the subject. People are not going to like listening to snakes and spiders. It's so terrible. So, as we mentioned before, Braden and I work in a deli. We work in a deli at a grocery store in a town, and all of this information is obviously going to be undisclosed. we'll call this grocery store hell. How does hell sound,
Okay,
Braden?
no, how about like if this grocery store was a cupcake, it's a cupcake that you would take a bite out of. Like someone's like, "Hey, do you want a bite of this cupcake?" Or, "Hey, you want a cupcake?" I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna apply to eat that cupcake." And then you get in. The first bite of the cupcake is something special. You don't exactly get to the filling if there is one.
Right.
This one is filled.
You don't see what's underneath.
They're like, "Oh, it's a strawberry filling." No, it's congealed pork's blood. That is the filling, and that is the first bite is like your first few months, and then it really takes a
It
turn.
just yeah.
It really does.
My analogy for it, if you are a SpongeBob fan, is the episode where they make Krabby Patties out of a machine, and they look like regular Krabby Patties, but they're actually just gray goop on the inside. Gray, sad, depressing.
That's isn't that when plankton takes over?
Midwestern racist goop on the inside.
Oh man.
It's a colorful business. It's not a colorful business.
No.
It's only a white business.
Yeah, it has its ups and downs. Obviously, we worked at a grocery store, and it's essential business.
Right. We did work together during the pandemic. Yeah.
And it was obviously a challenging time for pretty much anyone that was working in essential business.
Fields. Yeah.
Right. And it had, like I said, it had ups and downs, and right. They did treat us well, like with like bonuses and things like that. I'm not saying we were mistreated. We definitely, before, I know Illinois had a pay raise. Before that, it did feel at times we were pretty underpaid. But that's just my humble opinion. I know other people think that we're overpaid, especially now. We're definitely overpaid. $11 an hour is the minimum wage.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely are. The job we do is not that important.
No. But it definitely, I think, if you knew someone that was working any kind of essential business, obviously, what we did is nothing compared to the people in hospitals and blah, 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 all that. It is important to appreciate the people that did that. But we did things too. I'm not comparing ourselves to life-saving people.
Right. We're not doctors or nurses literally risking their lives every day
to
save
also,
people.
We're at a grocery stores were popping in the beginning of this pandemic. And we were there. We were there.
On the front line.
Day in, day out. And we have families at home. And we want, some of us, we want to see August's grandmother. You live with her. She lives with you.
Right. I live with my grandma. I can't be bringing home coronavirus.
Right. So there is a risk. And there's also people that we're working with that had to stop working because of the pandemic. But I tell you what, there's nothing more unique than the people that come to shop there. Because when they walk in, they're in charge. And I know people say the customer's right. All right. Well, shut up, Chad. The customer isn't right. The customer is wrong because the customer doesn't work there. They don't know what's going on.
Because the customer can't walk without the support of the cart that they're pushing. Because they weigh down the car that they drive. It leans when they get in.
I'm gonna say it. I'm a pro masker. It shouldn't be political.
I agree.
I'm a mask guy. I'm gonna wear my mask in every single setting that I am told to. And we live in this conservative Midwestern area. A lot of people there are no maskers to this point. Just 2 weeks ago, I was working there before we came back to college, and both of us, and there's people in there just mouth breathers.
They're freeballing it with their mouths.
Yeah, and I don't know, something shrivels up inside of me when I see someone not wearing a mask. I'm like, you dirty dog. I don't know what you're doing. But I don't want to be around you, and I definitely don't want to serve you.
Right, for sure.
It's definitely our job.
Right.
It's definitely our job.
It's just, it's a colorful business, and by colorful, it's not. Colorful.
Gray. Different shades.
Yeah,
of gray.
it's colorful. It's just one color though. It's gray and sadness, like
But
the inside of a Krabby Patty.
we definitely will have plenty of stories about that. Just brainstorming right now, I can think of many times where I have felt that internal rage that has to be evolutionary or primitive, because when someone disrespects you so bad while you're just trying to fry some chicken and slice some deli meat, there's no excuse. If you liked what you heard today, obviously we're working out some technological things. We're going to figure out the best way to get this podcast to sound the best.
You're getting remotely. A new mic.
I'm getting a new
microphone.
But definitely let us know. Give us some feedback, and tell us what you think. We also have a Twitter. Go ahead and follow it. We're going to post when we post new things. We're going to put polls on there, and we're going to do like different segments where we ask you to use a certain hashtag, and you tell
or
us
just
something.
Add us on Twitter, and we'll answer some of your questions. Down the line.
But if you just look up Knuckle Deep, capital K, capital D, 4 on Twitter, it has the same image that is our podcast cover. You click on there, give us a follow, and we'll keep you up to date.
All right, is that all we have for our first our first pilot episode?
Yeah, and if you guys hate this, let us
also
know.
Let us know. Tell us that we're just two fat honkies that shouldn't be talking.
But seriously, tell us what you want to see, what you want to change. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.